How you guys like my chair? Swing chair. I'm in the basement of this Airbnb right now, and they have these like swing chair setups to watch the TV with. I don't even know what's happened in these chairs. We're not even gonna think about that. Hope you all are having a fantastic Saturday. I decided to go live this morning just to hang out with y'all for a little bit, and quite frankly, I don't have time to edit up a video today, so we're just gonna chat here for a little bit and talk about some things while I swing on my hammock chair. So first of all, I want to talk about some things that I have going on with DTI and projects, and et cetera, et cetera. So first of all, I will be in Southern California next week. I have 2 talks down there in the LA area. One for the UFO and Paranormal Research Society of LA, and then number 2 for MUFON, OC, their Orange County affiliate. So that'll be fun. I'll put some links in the description after this video to check out where and when in the websites for those 2 organizations. Number 2, want to continue to reiterate this with all the censorship going on, is go follow me. Go follow me on social media, on whatever accounts you have. Go sign up for my newsletter. I use Instagram. I'm using Instagram a little bit more. It's actually pretty fun to mess around with. I like that story function where I can just post random things throughout the day. And you guys can follow along. So anyway, I've been using Instagram more, still use Twitter all the time, still use Facebook. Of course, those big tech companies may censor those at any time. So I'm gonna start using Gab a little bit more. That's kind of like my fallback in case they do delete my Twitter, Facebook. I've got Gab, and I've got BitChute and DTube that I'll post videos on if they censor this YouTube channel again. So go follow me on all those accounts if you have any of those, and subscribe to my email newsletter. Go to my website, jordansather.com or destroyingtheillusion.com. I think jordansather.com reroutes you to destroyingtheillusion.com. Anyway, go subscribe for my newsletter because they can't censor that. And that's a great, easy way for me to send out announcements and whatnot. Thank you for the super chats. Appreciate it. Number 3, I'm redoing my website. So you might have heard me say that before, but that'll be out within a week or 2. And when that launches, my app will launch. So that'll be very fun. That'll be something else that you guys can download that, well, I guess they could censor an app, couldn't they? But something that'll allow me to send you direct messages on as long as you have it. So that'll be something helpful for me to have. Will be an app. There'll be a store on it. I'll have products. I'm looking at an Ormus product, a monatomic gold, which will be the first one on there. And then I'm also looking for any kind of physical goods as well. I'll put a call out right now, anybody watching this, if you happen to make anything like orgonite or pendants, or if you're an artist, or if you have anything like that that you can produce a few of, I will be more than happy to work out some sort of deal and get some from you if you allow me to sell that, resell it on my website. So go email me, would be the best email for that. Probably JORD George Sather at gmail.com. That email will be in the description down below. So shout out there. Website will be great when it launches. It's gonna be a lot prettier. It's kind of cheesy right now what I have up. So it'll look a lot better. There'll be a store function. There'll be an app. It'll be awesome. Number 4, going through my list here. I'm gonna say thank you to all of you who are supporting me going through all of this with the super chats some people are posting, very helpful. Patreon as well, thank all of you for signing up on Patreon. And then any of you just, you know, one-off donations, things like that. I appreciate it all, and just viewing these videos, sharing it along. If you grab any apparel on my Spreadshirt store, you know, it all helps. A lot of the videos that I post are demonetized by YouTube. They're especially going on a kind of Q censorship kick I've been seeing lately. Sometimes if a video is about QAnon, they may or may not demonetize it, but now it's like anything that references Q, gone, demonetized. So it all helps, all the support. Number 4, documentary. I want to mention that to you guys. A lot of questions about this. So the one documentary that's coming out very soon that I helped co-produce is called Above Majestic. This is going to focus on the secret space programs, black, unacknowledged projects, suppressed technologies, etc., etc. Kind of a big overview of the deep state. It touches on some dark occult stuff, but it really focuses on the secret space programs. This documentary, many of you people are waiting to view. It's going to be out near the end of October. Once it's out, I'll let you guys know. That's the first documentary. Second documentary is my own production. So I'm working on my very own documentary with a professional filmmaker and editors and et cetera, and storyboarding it out. It's in pre-production right now. I'm going to do a presentation for it. I'm going to go get some interviews for it. It's going to be a big, I mean, for me, huge. My first kind of very own documentary, my own production that I'm working with a team, professional team with. And that's just going to be very exciting. That'll be out. I'll be working on it over the next few months, but it should be out early next year. And very excited for that. So as I know more and as that progresses, I'll let you guys know, and you can follow along with that whole process. So super excited for that. Next, last thing I want to share, and then we can just chat about current events and stuff like that, and I'll answer some of your guys' questions. Number 5 or 6, I don't know how many things I've rattled off here. The last thing I want to announce to you guys is the fact that there will soon be let's see, how do I want to say this? I know a group of people working together, very great minds, very great hearts, and they are working to create a new WikiLeaks-esque type of publishing service that's a Tor service that's going to be encrypted, secure, anonymous, and it's going to be focused towards anybody who has worked in military or corporate projects, who has things they want to tell. And so it's going to be geared towards the SSB stuff, the black projects, etc., you know, the UFO type issues. So I think that's one big problem. I mean, a lot of people think WikiLeaks is compromised, maybe not, don't know. They showed some signs of it, but then again, optics, who knows. But WikiLeaks also, they seem to shy away from a lot of the UFO type information and secrets. So there's going to be another service coming out to be geared towards more of that realm and start snowballing this full disclosure process. So that's just getting the kinks worked out of it. Once I know more on that and a link is available, I will make an announcement. Some others are going to make an announcement of it. And there'll be an interesting report that I'll release along with that too. So just wanted to let you guys know that that's coming. I mean, this disclosure process really has to be a grassroots initiative. A lot of people ask me, when's disclosure coming? And they write disclosure with a capital D, as if it's gonna be one particular day where one particular person stands up on a podium and goes, yes, the deep state exists, they've done all these things, and ETs are real, and secret space programs exist, you know? Disclosure doesn't work like that. It's not one event that, you know, one official address. Not saying something like that is coming, but the actual process of disclosure is not an external process, it's an internal process. With the magic of the internet, with everything on the internet, you can figure out so many deep truths and connections and do so much research on your own that you can find disclosure right now. You know? It's not that we have to wait for anybody to do it for us. And not only that, but the unfortunate thing is that with the nature of the deep state, how infiltrated they've gone into society with, there's so much controlled opposition out there, so many sources that, you know, as you began your truth-seeking journey, you felt like you could trust, but as you start researching more and more and seeing more and more connections, so many names that you once idolized are like, shit, God, they're controlled. They're not all they cracked up to be, right? And a lot of people are showing their true colors right now. So disclosure just has to be a grassroots initiative. It has to be something where we share the information in any way, shape, or form. I myself, I'm doing that through these YouTube videos. I'm doing that through trying to get into bigger productions like documentaries, doing that through talks and events around the country. I know groups doing, creating this kind of Tor document dumping service. For anybody wanting to put stuff through that, yes, podcasts. Podcasts, one thing I haven't mentioned yet is that I am working on a podcast along with everything else, which hopefully will have its first episode within the first few weeks. So point being, though, back on topic, is that disclosure is available to you at any point in time. All it depends on is you calming down that ego a bit, throwing away everything you thought you knew, and going upon a journey of humble learning. So that's that. Anyway, let's get into talking about some current events. I have some things on my notepad here I want to talk about. So, first thing, what did I write? Observatory. Let's talk about that for a little bit. So, with this whole National Solar Observatory evacuated in New Mexico thing, there's been a lot of things I've seen people say that, while on one hand I appreciate the deeper thinking that people are trying to do, understanding that of course we don't have the full picture of it, we hardly have any picture of it. They're trying to connect some dots and speculate as to what's going on. But the problem is that there's a big difference between assuming something is fact and speculation. I've seen a lot of people assuming thing is fact. They something makes sense in their head and they run with it and they think that's the truth and then they spread that. And then more people, oh, this makes kind of sense, and then they spread that more. And it's just, be very careful with that, right? You need to, something might sound like it makes sense, but maybe it makes sense from your narrow perspective. And a lot of times we don't realize there's always a bigger perspective outside the one that we are looking with. So with this observatory thing, I'm seeing some people claim that there's some weather technology that was there that, was turned off, and et cetera, et cetera. And my opinion on that is that, well, bigger picture, with the kind of black technology that we would associate as weather modification technologies, say HARP, say NextRad, say anything else that uses microwave EMF frequencies to modify weather systems, I don't think they would have that kind of technology at a public research institution such as Sacramento Peak in New Mexico. See what I'm saying? So that doesn't resonate with me. I don't think it has anything to do with black weather technologies they were turning off. They wouldn't be kept there. You see, I'm seeing some people say Chinese hackers. Chinese hackers were trying to hack into the institution, and that one kind of connected with some weather control technologies. Like Chinese hackers were hacking to get access to weather modification technologies. And again, would the weather tech be kept there? And B, the source that I'm seeing say a lot of these Chinese hacker allegations was a call-in to the Clyde Lewis Ground Zero radio show, which is a great radio show. Clyde Lewis is a cool dude from, I haven't seen much of his stuff, but I've heard a little bit, and he's cool. But this caller was claiming to be anonymous and leaking these details, and that just doesn't make sense to me. Like, what? Going through this long laundry list of connections that had no sourcing, no evidence, no sauce, as they say. So again, that claim that it's Chinese hackers, blah, 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 you look at where it came from, some random call-in to a radio show with all these connections to weather technologies, just doesn't make sense. UFOs, a lot of people are thinking this observatory got shut down because of UFOs, and I'm seeing a lot of people circulate these UFO photographs that were taken by a particular woman on Facebook. Now, in my opinion, I think that they're green, they're like green photographs. One kind of looks like a disc and a bunch of dots on it. I bless the woman's heart. I don't think she intentionally knows, but I personally think these photographs are fake, and it's just dust and a reflection of the lens mirror inside the attachment on the photography device that she's using. So I don't think that that photograph, A, is a real one, and B, has anything to do with this observatory being shut down. That's not to say that maybe this and the other observatories going offline didn't have something to do with craft in this atmosphere or craft in space, but I don't think they have to do with this particular set of photographs, right? And then, I mean, shoot, there's just so many unanswered questions about this observatory thing. That's why this is getting me so excited, because it doesn't happen too much where I'm just like drawing a blank on all these things and taking all the assumptions or all the claims people are making and really getting objective with it and really going through the discernment process. That's why this is so fun, because it's like so many things I'm hearing just aren't adding up in my head. And the speculations that are out there, you know, is it craft? Is it some sort of solar radiation, some new sort of cosmic energy the sun's putting out? Is it some sort of espionage? Like, yeah, there could be some sort of rogue intelligence agency that has been using these observatories for maybe space communications or intelligence gathering. Could be that too. I mean, there's so many speculations we have, and it's like the evidence I'm seeing isn't making me go one particular way. Could be any, could be all. It's, you know, I'm interested to see what more will have come out about it and how the media is going to spin it. A lot of people are saying the Planet X thing. I've never vibed with the Planet X thing. I don't even think it's a real planet. I think all the Planet X stuff is in reference to a brown dwarf. A brown dwarf that is the binary companion of our star. Look into a book called The Lost Star of Myth and Time. And, you know, I think a lot of people, the Planet X stuff is a lot of fear porn. I think there's a lot of misinfo put out there with maybe some legitimate info. And people think this planet's going to come crashing through and we're going to like see it next to the sun. I don't think that at all. I don't even think it's visible to our eyeballs. I think it's a brown dwarf star that is the binary component to ours. So no, I don't think it's Planet X or Nibiru. I think it's more likely some sort of espionage, some sort of maybe craft or something they don't want us to see. But regardless of what it is, the interesting thing, mentioned this in yesterday's video, is that it's a really bad cover-up. It's not a cover-up of a cover-up. It's like a cover-up that's not one, right? If they didn't want us to know about this, they easily could have evacuated that observatory and we wouldn't know a thing. But it got into the news. Now it's into the mainstream news. It's going around again and again, the mainstream news. It's like they can't stop reporting on it. So people want eyes on this. For whatever their agenda in the mainstream media, of course, they're trying to ridicule the alien conspiracy theorists and put out a bunch of fear porn about a solar flare. But regardless of what the case is, they want our eyes on it. That's the thing that's really intriguing to me, is that they want us to look into it, okay? So, hey, I'll keep looking into it. Number 2, on that topic of space, let's talk SpaceX. So I saw an announcement by SpaceX, by Elon, saying that on Monday, they're going to announce the very first person that they're going to put on a rocket and shoot around the moon. Apparently, they're going to do that in a few years. They're creating this big, brand new rocket just to put one person on, one very rich person who paid for the seat, and they're going to shoot him around the moon in like 2020 or 2021 or something like that. And, okay, you can pay a shitload of money to deal with a giant, dangerous rocket. I wouldn't do that personally. I'm much more interested in the technologies that Elon Musk doesn't talk about. The anti-gravity, electrogravitic, mass-canceling technologies, the stuff in the black projects, right? You know, I would never pay money to go on a rocket anywhere. So a rocket is so, like, archaic. It's so old. You got to understand, fossil fuels and Bernoulli's principle and all that stuff, that is last century technology. We're moving into a new paradigm, folks. You got to understand, craft don't need wings anymore. Craft don't fly anymore. These craft that are in the black projects, they use electricity to cancel mass and to propel themselves. So by the time I would ever get enough money to pay SpaceX or some other private corporation to shoot me around the moon, no. That's just a waste of time to me. And it's nonsense. I want to expose and somehow get access to the freaking black triangles, man. That's like a life goal of mine, is to fly on some sort of like black triangle. That'd be amazing. It'll happen. You might think I'm crazy for saying that. It'll happen. I'm going to pilot one of those things. But anyway, SpaceX, man, come on. And some people were saying that Elon Musk was some people were sending me some videos of Elon Musk saying, yeah, he sounds so much like Alex Jones, like they're talking about this new paradigm of physics, blah, 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 extra dimensions. I'm like, no, they're not. No, they're not. You see, what a lot of people have a tough time with is that with these laws of physics that we've been taught, we've been ingrained with, you have to like unlearn. You have to totally wipe the slate clean and start relearning the foundations and building back the theoretical understandings of our cosmos upon that. So when I see Alex Jones on Joe Rogan and he's like, yeah, we got like 12 dimensions, bro. It's like, no, we don't. We don't have 12 dimensions. They're just, a lot of people do that. They just make up some things in their head that have no logical basis in reality. They say time is an illusion. Time is an illusion. Time's not an illusion. Time exists. We wouldn't be here without time itself. Time is just different than what establishment science tells us. You know, time isn't only linear. It has a multidimensional component to it as well. So, yeah. I'm just ranting a little bit on my on how establishment science upsets me. It upsets me as much as establishment religion does, because they're both completely mind-controlled mechanisms. Religion, as much as science, there's a bunch of disempowering dogma in both that steers people away from reality. It's bad. So, that being said, yes, anti-gravity exists. I'm having fun on this swing. Let's see here. Next thing, FEMA will be testing a nationwide alert next Thursday. So, White House messages will be able to go straight to your phone just like that. And if that's not some sort of hint that mass arrests will soon be taking place, I don't know what to tell you. The EBS, the Emergency Broadcast System, has been going off across the country more and more and more. And now we have a FEMA test of a nationwide alert. Again, they're just preparing people. They're preparing people and preparing their systems for when they need to activate them. Because, of course, very soon, all these sealed indictments gonna be unsealed. Mass arrests, the cabal will be going down. So, there you go. We have a system test for that to take place. Not only that, but let's talk about some fake MAGAs on the topic of, you know, mass arrests, white hats. Of course, Q comes into that picture. Got a lot of fake MAGAs kind of exposing their true colors right now. People are just going 180s all over the place. Like one day they claim to be Trumpers, and the next day they're saying, no, it doesn't matter. Don't vote in the midterms. It doesn't matter at all. Stay home, guys. Trump's not doing so hot. He's not doing this, not doing that. Oh, but I'm a Trump supporter. Oh, that's weird. Oh, but Q's a fake. Q's a LARP. Have you even looked into it? No, but it's a LARP. But yeah, I'm a Trump supporter. Well, you see? It doesn't make any sense. So just be very careful. Again, guys, don't... can we say here? One of my favorite quotes is from Bruce Lee. I love Bruce Lee's philosophies. He says, take what's useful, reject what's useless, and add what's uniquely your own. So, that being said, you can look at any outlet, any public figure, any person, and see their information and take something from it. You know, I still read the mainstream media. A lot of people shy away from reading CNN and NBC, but no, I still read CNN. I still read NBC because you can still gain positives. You can still gain clarity from reading that. If you're just very good at discerning and parsing through their words you can find some bits of useful information, then you can see the narratives are spinning out. And okay, we can learn how to undo those narratives. You can take something from these fake MAGAs and these Q or LARPers and all this stuff by reading their information, because then they're showing their true colors. And you go, okay, I know I can't trust a lot of their information, but maybe you can trust some of it. You know, it's not a black and white world is what I'm trying to say. It's very gray. It's very, you know, people's information, even if they're a shill, as we say. I see that word getting thrown around so liberally lately. Shill, shill, shill. If they're a shill, you want to say, you can still get good info from a shill. Because you have to understand, info is just info. There's not any kind of inherent good or bad info. It's just info. How are you going to view it? How are you going to use it? And what are you doing with it, right? So that being said, yeah, I still read mainstream. I still read a lot of these controlled alternative media personalities. But that's only because when you see the mind control, see what they're trying, how they're trying to control that minds, then you know how to undo it. Yes, let's get into some questions for a few more minutes, and then I got a jet. So let's go. Thoughts on vote? Yeah, so now that Reddit Great Awakening has been banned, apparently the new official Great Awakening page that's not on the chans is now on Vote. And I like Vote. I've seen a lot of good details on Vote. Man, let's hope they don't censor that one or take it down. So I'll see if I can find that link to the Vote Great Awakening thread and link it down below after this video. Do I follow Destin Nemos? Yeah, we message quite a bit. I've been meaning to talk to him, but I'm so darn busy. There's some people I've even already talked to that I still have yet to get their interviews out. I've been meaning to get Anomaly's interview out for a few days now, but I'm just busy as crap, and I've been traveling. I think that'll be out either later today or tomorrow. So, boom. There's your answer to that question when the Anomaly talk's coming out. And there's that. Somebody mentioned Q being mentioned on Cosmic Disclosure, which is awesome. I haven't really watched Cosmic Disclosure for a little while because I can just get the information direct from Corey. And not only that, but I've just been busy. But for them to mention Q on Cosmic, which is cool, because Gaia is a very, again, there's a lot of great information that can be gleaned from anywhere. There's a lot of great information that you can get from Gaia. I still have a Gaia account. I watch it now and again. There's some good documentaries on there you can't find anywhere else. But Gaia is a limited hangout. In all intents and purposes of that word, Gaia is a limited hangout. They will not talk politics. They won't talk current deep state exposures, we can say. There's a lot of stuff they won't touch. But for them to mention Q on Cosmic, that's pretty cool. You know, it's neat to see people in the ufology realm, we could say, such as David and Corey, and they don't care what other people have to think about them. They don't care about, you know, them looking bad or weird to folks because they're Q proponents and I don't want to say Trump supporters putting any kind of words or beliefs into their mouths, but you know, they do say that Trump is a part of the alliance and the white hat community, white hat groups, taking down the deep state. So it's very touchy, man. It's so political in all these communities. Like, I wanted to do a presentation somewhere for my documentary, and the place of business didn't want us talking there because of what we were talking about. It's funny, a lot of people in the UFO realm, I get invited to UFO talks and to UFO conferences and, you know, disclosure conferences. They don't want you talking about politics. They don't want you talking about Q. They don't want you talking about Pizzagate and things like that. But then you go over here to like the, you know, many in the, you could say patriot community, et cetera, et cetera. They get so triggered by a lot of the UFO information and secret space program information. So it's this dichotomy that I'm really trying to help heal. And it's simply just, it's ego. It's ego. People attaching on to their belief systems and having a very difficult time in seeing bigger pictures, seeing greater perspectives. You know, that being said, don't believe anything. Don't believe anything, 100%. Don't attach yourself to any particular beliefs. Research everything you can, and then see what patterns arise, right? Once the patterns start arising, then those are the understandings that can gravitate more towards to. So there you go. Very important understanding, very wise words there. Trust yourself. There you go. Q is person. Q is not a person. Q is an operation. Okay, think of it that way, and your understanding of it will gain much more clarity. Q is not a person, it's an op. It's a thing that was started 10 months ago to, for many reasons, combat the deep state, catalyze the public into waking up as a warning system because things were coming, you know. Let's see here, going through the comments. Libs hate Q, UFOs aren't real, deep state is fake, pedo ring is fake, Pizzagate is fake. Huh, it's backwards day for that person. Unless they're just joking. Why do the Blue Avians, Corey, and me bother Cliff High? I don't know. Maybe Cliff High is just cranky, stuck in his own belief systems. Think about that. I think a lot of people are like that. They're just stuck in their ways and cranky and don't want to reach out and see new things, right? It's sad. Same thing with people in Q, right? People get so triggered by Q. Well, they're just stuck in their belief systems and they don't want to see the bigger picture and look outside the box. And it's okay. It's okay. Everybody is on their own point in the path. You can't force people to see and do things they don't want to see and do. You can suggest a lot, as much as you want, but you can't force them. I can't force people to look into secret space program information. I can do as many whiteboard videos as I want to lay it out there for people. I can't force them to see it. I can't force people to look into Q. I can say, hey, this shit is so complex, you can't get an opinion on Q in like an hour of research, but then they get an opinion on Q and think they know the truth of it. Well, can't force them what to think, but I can suggest. Here's a question. Does Israel control the deep state? I would say no, because we cannot generalize like that. Saying Israel and saying deep state are very general statements, because it's not Israel that's bad, it's rogue groups in Israel that's bad. Rogue intelligence agencies, right? We don't say the deep state because there's many factions of the deep state. We have the ones that are typically American. We got Rothschilds over in Europe, you know, Rockefellers over here, Clintons over here. We've got groups in China and Asia, I'm sure. You know, there's a lot of, it's not black and white. It's so complex. So you have to really break down the words, the language you're using, get very clear with each thing you're putting out, you know? Zionists control the deep state. Do they control the deep state? No, because again, there's many groups. You could say the Zionists are one particular sect of the deep state. The Zionists likely work with some, you know, deep state Nazis, which work with some deep state. See, again, labels. Labels are difficult. Labels get difficult not only when you label yourself, because you're shutting yourself down into a box, but when you label ideas that you're trying to discuss, it almost boxes in those ideas, and you can't become as clear enough as you would like. So a lot of times, for instance, when I discuss things like the deep state, I go through the laundry list of names we call them so people can identify the ideas that I'm portraying easier. I'll say, okay, call them the deep state or the New World Order or the Illuminati. Call them whatever you want. Or call the good guys, the Alliance, the Patriots, the White Hats. Call them whatever you want. It gets even more difficult when you're trying to discuss scientific concepts. Call it electrogravitics, call it anti-gravity, call it gravity control, right? Or you're talking about, say, the ether. Call it the ether, call it the source field, call it the morphogenic field, call it space-time, call it God, call it... You see what I'm saying? It's like, language is a very difficult thing because everybody has their own particular perspectives on a single word. Not only that, but a word is trying to describe a concept and can't always do that. Many concepts are kind of outside language in a way. They are paradoxically indescribable. We're going to describe them by saying they're indescribable. Observatory closure to promote fake alien invasion. I never touch on flat Earth because the Earth isn't freaking flat. God, come on. All right, now let's talk about the fake alien invasion thing. So, many thoughts on this, right? Number one is that the whole idea of a fake alien invasion or a blue beam-esque type of scenario assumes that the ETs aren't here in the first place. Have they ever left? Good question. Think about it. Number two, with Bluebeam, I do believe that it was a plan on the drawing table at one point by the deep state as their last remaining false flag, right? But I do not think it's viable. I do not think it's viable for many reasons. Number one, a lot of people know about it. Now you could say, oh, the mainstream doesn't know about it. Well, enough in the truthing communities know about it where if it even tried to happen, a lot of people would be noticing, observing, calling it out. Number three, with Bluebeam, I think the White Hats would be stopping it. And sometimes it's not even called Bluebeam. Look into Project Firesign, right? This was, Project Firesign was what the Clinton groups called it. Allegedly, there was a leaked document a couple of years ago, right before the election that came out. It was called Project Firesign. And allegedly it came from the Clinton campaign organizer company. What was it called? Give me a sec. God, the group, some group, I can't quite remember. Anyway, it was Benenson, the Benenson strategy group. It was a document allegedly that came from them outlining what's called Project Firesign. So this has been something on the drawing table by many deep state factions for a while. If their deep dark secrets are about to be exposed, oh, let's do some false flag disclosure involving ETs. Project Bluebeam, I don't think it's viable anymore. Not only that, but if Project Bluebeam was enacted, say they made some hologram up in the sky of some figure or some craft, think of this in terms of free will. What that would do is, if there was some open disclosure like that, millions of people started seeing it, that would actually basically open the door for the positive galactic beings to begin intervening. That would basically just open up disclosure in and of itself. The deep state doesn't want that. They don't want to break that, open that free will door, let's say, and allow all the races that are here observing this great awakening that's happening on Earth to begin intervening in it. So no, Bluebeam isn't viable in my opinion. I'm not even worried about it. Anybody spreading a bunch of fear about it, just get away from the fear porn. I do think the deep state is still trying to enact some sort of false flag disclosure, but since they can't do Bluebeam, what they're doing is using people various rock stars, you know. New York Times articles. God, poor Tom DeLonge. I really hope he wisens up, realizes who he's working for. And I just pray. I pray that he's not in it. God, I hope he's not that friendly with John Podesta, you know. But again, you know, that's the hope. But that's what needed to be said about that. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you for hanging out with me on this chair, on my swing chair for a while. I will go live again in a few days, see if I can. Might do it in LA there. But anyway, have a beautiful weekend, everybody. I'll be checking in soon. Somebody said, new Q drop, so guess I got something to go read. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.